Hey folks, hope you enjoyed the podcast. This free teaser of the main episode features 10 posts, but you can get the full episode with an additional 20 posts, plus our witty banter and all that good stuff, plus fun segments like MGTOW and This Ain't It Chief, plus a preview of next week's episode, only over at patreon.com/reportthispost. Not only that, but there's an additional bonus episode every week for our beautiful patrons and other fun stuff, all available at patreon.com/reportthispost. Help support the show. It'll do a lot for us. It'll make us feel better about spending all of our goddamn free time looking up posts for your guys' amusement. And enjoy the show. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 144 of Report This Post, the podcast about bad posts and bad people. My name is Geiger, and that is Christian.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
And we are your hosts with the posts. Every week, Christian, myself, or a listener select a different topic, and then find horrible posts for your listening pleasure. And this week's topic, as chosen by a listener named Joe, is Looney Tunes. Had something else. But, Sure. Joe selected Looney Tunes specifically because of Space Jam 2 that's coming up here. Right around the bend, huh?
At some point, yeah. Not sure. Don't know actually when that comes out.
I feel like I've been hearing about it for 6 years now.
Yeah, I don't know when it comes out. Don't have any interest in it whatsoever.
Never saw the first one.
You never saw Space Jam?
No.
Wow. Actually, it gets released.
Bits and pieces over the years from, like, I remember a teacher would put it on like a slow day or something, but it never really interested me.
Well, you're not missing much. A lot of people seem to think this was like a defining film of our generational childhood, and it does not hold up. It is not a good movie. So.
I imagine. I remember Michael Jordan when he was on Saturday Night Live, and he was an awful actor. And from what I understand, that held true in the film.
Wait, you got to think. You got a guy who's not a great actor acting against nothing.
Yep.
And Bill Murray. So, and Wayne Knight of Seinfeld fame.
Wow.
All the stars are out.
Hell of a trio. Headline of film. And Bugs Bunny. And Lola Bunny, too. To a lot of people's chagrin, which we will get to.
Yes, sir.
In this episode, as some folks have opinions about Lola Bunny, plus various other characters that have been changed in the Looney Tunes reboots and modern takes on this whole thing. I loved Looney Tunes itself growing up.
Sure.
Those were always a lot of fun. They would be on Saturday mornings on like Nickelodeon before they had their own shows.
Yeah, that weird time when they just kind of had space to fill. Sure.
Yeah. I think it was Nickelodeon. It could have been
literally anything.
They really could have been any channel. But yeah, Looney Tunes, great. All the characters, all the classic gags, and Bugs Bunny. Some folks really like that guy. Some folks do not like that guy. And a lot of found quite a few boomers who have opinions about Looney Tunes and modern cartoons and everything compared to the old stuff. So, well, before we get to that, we are wrapping up Immortan June here this week. If you don't know, that's over on patreon.com/reportthispost, where we've watched all 4 Mad Max films and then talked about them, which is was pretty entertaining somehow. Don't know how we made it work, but it's not bad. But the 4th one
Fury Road's coming out here in a couple days, I believe, right?
Yep, next week. So I guess I should probably watch that at some point.
I was watching it right when we started recording, so I'll have to finish that at some point. Yes, by the way, for Joe, who picked this topic, how did he do that?
Joe is a patron over on patreon.com/reportthispost, where he upgraded his membership and was able to interact with us rather than being just a lowly worm who only gets to listen. He actually got to message with us and choose a topic.
That's right. And if you don't want to do that, if you want to choose an episode topic but you don't want to be a member of the show, which is an odd choice to make, but you are allowed to do it, you can just head over to reportthispost.com. You'll see a button there for selecting a topic. Put down some of your hard-earned cash and choose a topic about Lord knows what is on your filthy mind. Undoubtedly, Joe selected this one because he has some sort of vor fetish for... He wants Elmira from Tiny Toons to eat him or something.
He wants Taz to climb up his asshole and live inside of him. Yeah. He wants to be the one boring. Yeah.
And who doesn't, folks? Well, why don't we go ahead and get on to our post here regarding Looney Tunes.
Great. So, speaking
of... as they say.
Space Jam... There's a scene in the original classic Space Jam where Sylvester the Cat snags the shorts of the Monstar Pound, who is based off Sir Charles Barkley.
Okay.
And what ends up happening is his big fat ass gets revealed for a couple seconds. Some nice jiggle animation there and everything.
Oh, cool.
So a series of screenshots of this scene got shared to DeviantArt, as they would be.
Of course.
Where Daniel MLI replied... With the few hope as Sylvester tossed around a fishing rod when a version had Lola Bunny get pantsed when she was blushing over most of the stadium has a view of her sweet pussy. Oh. With Pound wondering of regretting to wear panties that fateful day when Sylvester tossed a fishing rod, which snagged Pound's shorts when he was blushing, hoping most of the stadium was to have a front view of skin they didn't want to see.
It feels like that's been run through several Google translations.
It's actually the description for a fly trap on Amazon that somebody just copied back and forth a couple times and got that instead.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. A fishing rod, pants.
Yeah, there's
it's hard to track.
Yeah, the bit is he snags the pants with the fishing rod. This guy's saying it would have been better if Lola Bunny would have gotten her shorts taken off.
Oh.
So that everybody could see her sweet pussy and not the alien's penis.
That's his problem with the alien's big fat hog and balls. Is that what we're getting at here?
That's his problem with it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well.
Equal opportunity cartoon nudity is what this guy's saying.
Well, in this sequel, maybe that will also get rebooted. Is that scene? Speaking of that movie, here's a comment that I found on the trailer for the new movie. Unless it's shown in the film that Lola is being conditioned to act and think for males, her, quote, sexualization is nothing more than her being herself and people being attracted to her being herself. This doesn't constitute objectification or sexualization. Her mirroring Bug's confidence with greater athleticism and greater self-awareness is hardly sexist, and anyone who finds it problematic is actually engaging in a form of shaming by labeling the nature of people being attracted to people as wrong. In doing so, the nature of Lola is entirely nullified, and unconscious qualities, things nobody can choose like gender or race, are given priority over anything conscious, entirely fucking the entire fucking point of creating a character. You want chemistry? You want magic? Focus on everything conscious and you can enhance the sensation of overcoming the unconscious. Characters that are unique and alive, with qualities and quirks that develop from their appearances in multiple shows over time, can benefit greatly from our modern society's abundance of good taste and focused artistry. When you are executing a character with a previous history and you allow the thoughts and opinions of non-creators and non-performers to influence your creation, you are totally fucked. The only thing relevant to Lola is her performance. If you think otherwise, have fun avoiding substance and enjoy your cardboard throne.
Boy. Now, this is about the cartoon rabbit lady that was created specifically for the movie Space Jam, right? So
yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, the one that was clearly put in there so guys like this can one day talk about how great she was when they jerked their pud to it.
25 years from now, she's going to have such a following on this thing called the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to talk about how she's not being... If you're objectifying her, it's your problem, not the people who designed her to be a sexy rabbit. So,
well, isn't the Space Jam website still online?
That's
right.
Isn't that
go
a
to
thing?
spacejam.com/1996. It's still up. So they may have been ahead of the curve. Wow, what a website this is. Holy shit. This is what the entire internet was at one point. That's awesome. No Space Jam news at the moment. Go back to the Space Jam homepage to see more of the site. You got Lunar Tunes. Oh, wow. Oh, you can get the soundtrack. You can listen to the soundtrack in framed page.
Framed player.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
You can actually, the fine folks at JR Music World are making the soundtrack available to web surfers at this special low price. $12.99 a CD, $8.99 cassette.
Wow. Snag those cassettes while they last, folks.
You just gotta call this 800 number to order. Which I don't think... you don't really see that much online anymore.
800, logging online to get a phone number to call somebody. Very good.
You write down the number and then you unplug the computer from the phone line. So you can make a phone
AOL
call.
online.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, I got to get off Juno so I can...
Jesus Christ. Kids, you have no idea.
It's cool. Oh, that's fun. Well, check that out if you haven't gotten a chance to since 1996. My God. So, with the announcement of Space Jam 2, Warner Brothers released a statement that the French skunk Pepe Le Pew would not be included in the film due to his history of sexual assault. And I'm not even kidding about that. That's a true thing that happened.
Fantastic.
So I found this post in response on the Facebook page MGTOW Serbia.
MGTOW. 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 MGTOW.
Official and formal, completely serious statement on the issue of Pepe Le Pew. If you know and care just a little bit about the concept of consent, this cartoon should upset you. I hope none of you have been in a situation where somebody didn't stop what you said. No, stop, but let me tell you, it's not a pleasant thing to experience. And if you were ever the one doing it, change. Like now. The fact that something doesn't impact you directly doesn't mean it's not an issue. Other people exist too. It's not all about you. And when the issue does affect you, I know you do not stay silent and you always demand that the issue taken care of, so stop being a hypocrite. But in the end, all that happened is that Pepe will no longer appear in the sequel to Space Jam, the movie everyone hated 2 weeks ago, so I know that no one really cares. It's just all culture war bullshit grifting, and you are all still completely free to watch this cartoon if for whatever reason you think it's good. And to you, Pepe, learn what consent is and go MGTOW. There is so much more to life than running after sexual partners. Single life is awesome.
If you're reading this or listening to this...
If I can somehow reach you from the Facebook page MGTOW Serbia, Pepe, please change your ways.
I mean, Pepe, he kind of more is like a MGTOW than some other cartoons. Like he was very, he was going after women, but he wasn't really courting them per se. He was more.
No, he was very direct in his approach. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, he liked to find cats who accidentally got paint smeared on their back to try to fuck them.
Everybody has a fetish, okay?
Yeah.
So we can't blame the guy for that. His approach to it was a little heavy-handed, sure, but
not a lot of subtlety with the the skunk that had a French accent because French people smell awful was the main joke, and also they rape. So, it was
as everyone knows, the French
cartoons
they're very open with their sexuality. And that means that they're open with everybody else's sexuality too. So,
and that's why they just smell awful from just all the
Sucking
pussy and ass
fucking.
smell. Well, on that note, this is from our Looney Tunes.
Okay.
TMZ announces that the studio cut Pepe Le Pew out of Space Jam 2. Pepe Le Pew is canceled. This is too much. I can't stand this shit anymore. Our culture glorifies a song like WAP, but we cry in the shower and are racked with anxiety because of a womanizing cartoon skunk? What in the fuck is going on? Is this a Generation Z thing? Why are we canceling everything from the past? This is dumb. I will do my best to preserve as much Pepe Le Pew stuff that I have.
Okay.
User Lavalex1112 said, "This is what I hate about our generation. They ruined good quality content that the Looney Tunes made years ago." And then a few hours later, they responded to their own post with this. For example, like Duck Season, Wabbit Season. I can name one rights movement that would hate this scene. Vegans. So he's just sitting around for a couple hours stewing about this.
Marinate on it.
Like, who else? Man, who else do I really hate right now?
Yeah,
he
who
just
else can
runs
I get?
back to the computer.
Had to marinate on that one for a couple hours. Came back and just knocked it out of the park.
Hit enter, spun around in his chair. So good.
Yeah.
I wonder how much Pepe Le Pew stuff the OP has. If it's more than 0, it's probably not good.
too many. Yeah. Looney Tunes folks do like having stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get into a little bit of that in a couple later posts, but yeah, merchandising is a big thing with the Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Saw that in the 90s. Tons of...
Oh, sure.
Those, the clothes. The apparel
Clothes
was big
for sure.
for some reason.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that later as well.
God. Well, similar note, after the news of Pepe Le Pew being removed from Space Jam 2, an African-American man named Carlos went to Twitter to say... Cancel Bugs Bunny's Coonin' Ass 2 while you at it. And a guy named Active Frank replied, Bugs is black, so he wasn't racist. He was just shucking and jiving too much.
Oh, boy. This is why the internet's great, is these sort of conversations.
I don't care for that rabbit. He shucks and he is just shucking and jiving too much and disrespecting the duck.
Yeah. A lot of contention. Is Bugs black?
He's got that, like, what is it, like a Brooklyn kind of accent going on.
I would say evidence, or perhaps an argument against him being black, is how every other black character was portrayed at that time in cartoon form.
Very true.
They usually let you know if the character was black. Very much so. They kind of went out of their way for you to recognize this as a black character. I would say Bugs is a Brooklyn lower class sort of blue collar sort of guy, right?
Yeah, he has that thing. He just he's like a pipe fitter kind of guy.
Sure.
Yeah, but he hasn't been to work in a while. He's just taking a little break.
Caught wearing a dress on the job.
The union didn't take kindly to his after work activities. Yeah. Bugs, listen.
Quick. Hey, look, kid, we got to talk. Big
It's a little short union boss.
Uh-huh.
And a big dog.
You got a little short union boss. You can't see his eyes because the hat's over the... They just like... It was so easy. Like, some characters, we don't even have to draw their eyes. Wouldn't that be easy? Put a hat on them. Those are the days. Well, speaking of bad drawing, found this on DeviantArt. It's a drawing of Speedy Gonzales sitting on a jail bench between Pepe Le Pew and Apu from The Simpsons. Uh-huh. Speedy is saying to Pepe, "So they got you too, eh, senor?" And both Pepe and Apu look very sad. User Zgruz, who created this, entitled it, "The Politically Incorrect Bench," added this comment: "I swear, political correctness is going way too far. Pepe Le Pew and Speedy Gonzales are copyright by Warner Brothers, and Apu is copyright by Fox."
That's great.
User Fast Sonicus said, "Fascism passing off as manners," said a very famous comedian, "but it's not like we could all see this PC culture coming." Went to Fast Sonicus' profile and was surprised to find it's mostly just drawings of Scooby-Doo characters.
Okay, well...
Really didn't.
Username's a little misleading then, I'd have to say, sure.
Yeah. You kind of had one thing in mind. Scooby-Doo, awful. Hope we never have to do an episode on that.
Oh, well, now you've done it. Also has a really weird following amongst people.
Yeah, I don't get it. They just had a movie come out last year, Scoob, which I've seen way too many times due to children.
Oh, due to children.
Yeah. Not good.
I can't imagine it would be. Trying to take something that was made 60 years ago and form it into today's culture and like make jokes in today's it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's got a lot of those modern Joss Whedon type jokes that I hate. And I believe at the end of the movie, Shaggy sacrifices himself for Scoob, I think. I think that's the end of the movie. Like,
great.
Literally.
It just dies. Just straight up dies.
Well, then he comes back, but it's like, what? Or Scoob sacrifices himself? I don't know. It's a very dumb movie that, like, just, you can't fit that stupid 60s cartoon into a modern CGI movie. It makes no sense.
No, unless you do it like as a period piece. I mean, that's...
It was not a period piece, I'm afraid.
Well,
unless you count the current period as a period.
It will be someday. Right. Well, sorry those guys got canceled and they politically incorrect. That's like a Bill Maher joke. That's bad. That's really bad. Great. Well, I found a Tumblr called Ask Bugs, where the author roleplays as Bugs Bunny and also answers Looney Tunes questions submitted by their readers.
Dark.
An anonymous poster asked the admin, "I'm working on a fanfic about Bugs and Daffy going to Marvin the Martian's party. There's a scene with one of the aliens questioning why Bugs and Daffy walked in with no clothes on. What would Bugs say to that?" This isn't a leading question, by the way. The admin responded, "This really depends on what direction your story is going in and how you staged Bugs' personality up to that point. Is he more of a straight man? Because if you could have him not react at all, just shrug it off like he isn't even sure, back away frightened or embarrassed, etc. If you have him on the more mischievous side, you could say things like, 'Well, I gotta be ready for anything,' or 'You never know,' or 'Are you coming on to me?' etc. If he's on the more sarcastic side, you could say something like, 'I grew up poor,' in deadpan. 'Wind resistance. Why don't you wear clothes?' Or you could go the Daffy route and say something like, 'Because I like my body.' Be creative, have it flow with your story and the character you've got going. When in doubt, watch some Bugs cartoons to get inspiration."
The last thing anyone on this blog needs to do is to watch more Looney Tunes. These guys are in deep.
Yeah, if you want to check it out, go to the Ask Bugs Tumblr. If you want to see 12 years worth of this person posing as Bugs Bunny. And answering all sorts of questions. Just unbelievable.
12 years. That's about as long as Mel Blanc actually played the voice of Bugs Bunny. That's brutal. Well, we know Tumblr to be a bad spot. And speaking of, found this from there. Okay, so trans Speedy Gonzales. Exhibit A. He goes by a nickname rather than a given name, which is very trans. If you want to argue that Speedy is his given name, it's not. Who names a baby Speedy? What Mexican mother who lives in Mexico names a child Speedy? Exhibit B. The dude mice from the classic Speedy Gonzales shorts have tops that hug their chests, making a bell shape. Exhibit C. In the official art of Speedy Gonzales, the shirt he wears is similar to the other Dude Mice, but the difference is his is baggier, draping in a rectangle shape. You can also tell it's baggier by the bottom. The top mice's shirts fall close to their hips, but Speedy's has much more space, because his shirt is bigger on him, because he's trans. In the new Looney Tunes show, his voice deeper and his clothes are tighter. This is because he's done vocal training and has gotten top surgery.
You know what? Sure. Why not? Fuck it. Yes. I agree. Yep.
Try to imagine the cartoonist from like 1938 explaining this to his boss.
Well, you see, he's a lady, but he's not a lady. And nobody thinks he's a lady, but he's actually a lady.
Yeah. He's also really fast. Okay, let's just stick with the fast. Let's stick with that one.
Let's do one thing. Let's have him do one thing.
We'll save the top surgery for another character.
Everything this guy rolls. Yeah, he's a bird. He's fast, but he's also trans. No, okay. No. Again, just the fast thing's fine. It's fine.
Did you see that there was that? It went around a couple weeks ago, that Blue's Clues Pride Parade short on Nickelodeon or something like that.
I saw something about it. Yeah.
It was very bizarre. It felt like you were watching some alternate universe. But it on the Pride floats, there was like a family of beavers, and one of the beavers had like scars on its chest, so it had top surgery, I guess is the implication.
So they just thought like the one like we got to slip this in. Like, what's the best animal we could do this on? A beaver, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Classic big-titted beaver, you know. Like the other beavers didn't even have nipples, so yet this one had to have top surgery. It's called propaganda, folks, for kids. The trans agenda.
Okay, well, not gonna say anything about that. Speaking of trans, someone posted a YouTube vlog titled "Is Bugs Bunny a pro-trans character?" Sure, why not? The video only has 470 views on it, but did include this discussion. Hollyhock commented, "He wasn't pro-trans. Those costumes were meant to be disguises so he could get out of trouble. How is that being trans? That's like saying any kid who dresses up in a costume on Halloween is trans because their costume is slightly effeminate, or they're a girl and they wear pants, so therefore they are a trans boy." Mad Hatter replied, "Even if not being intentionally commentary on trans rights, how cross-dressing is presented in media does affect how people respond to transgender people in real life. For example, if we are conditioned to laugh at a man in a dress because he is seen as less than a man, and therefore deserving of ridicule, we are less likely to accept a trans woman as a legitimate woman because we see her as an object of ridicule, rather than a person employing a non-cis normative and completely legitimate form of gender expression. So, it's worth asking the question. Do Bugs' antics condition us to be less accepting of trans rights because of the perceived violation of gender norms? Or do they empower trans people by showing a character playing with gender expression in a way that's not strictly binary?" Wow. Unfortunately, this is the end of the discussion and comments on this video.
That's too bad. I really would have loved to see a lot more in-depth conversation
At least
on that.
30 to 40 back and forth replies is deserved on this topic, I would think.
That is the least anyone's talked about trans people online. So.
I think that first person was just like, whoa. I'm not, nope. Bye. Just logging out of YouTube.
Yeah. Wasn't pro-trans. Just put on a costume to as a disguise to get out of trouble. Isn't that what Charlotte Clymer did?
Oh.
Now, user MattReddit152 posted this to our unpopular opinion. Roadrunner from Looney Tunes can outrun anyone. He looks fast and he is fast, so if he were to exist in real life, he would be dubbed the fastest bird in the world, reaching levels past Flash at a record speed of 4,321 miles per hour. My personal guess is that Roadrunner would have a top speed of 4,321 miles per hour because he can outrun Wile E. Coyote and the Flash as seen in a comic.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Here's some other threads started by Matt Reddit 152. Roadrunners of Reddit, why do you love to run? What if Tails and Wile E. Coyote switch personalities? Looney Tunes Roadrunner fans on Reddit, how did you become a fan of him? Sonic is Sega's Roadrunner. I love Roadrunner because he's cute. Today I learned Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote are both baby boomers. I wish to meet Wile E. Coyote, the super genius himself. You're a roadrunner for a day. Wile E. Coyote is trying to catch you and trying to make you a meal for himself. What would you do first as a roadrunner?
Oh my god.
If Roadrunner has access to social media, what would be the first thing he could post? And then Meep, and then just a picture of Roadrunner. His last thread. And there's also literally hundreds more, all in the last few months. He's also the moderator and only active user on our Meep Roadrunner.
Wow. It makes you wonder what happened to a person at some point in their life that causes them to latch on to a sentient 6-foot-tall cartoon bird. Like,
I don't know.
Roadrunner could outrun my problems, my troubles. Get me out of here.
He's also clearly in awe of Wile E. Coyote, the super genius himself.
The super genius. Odd to be a fan of the both the villain and the hero.
Yeah,
of the
I'm going to
thing.
guess this is a guy who doesn't understand the difference between the two. Not a real, not a guy who gets a lot of personality, who understands the differences between folks. Would be my guess here.
Just he's a fellow that likes to go fast. 4,321 miles per hour, to be exact.
It's his
estimate. And
he apparently did some math to make it seem like that. And that, by the way, that's a fast bird, I gotta say.
That is one fast bird. Yep. That's a new Meep Roadrunner. Folks, go
subscribe. Yeah, give the guy some love.